Emma sat quietly on a wooden bench in the middle of the busy city park. The sun was setting, casting a soft orange light over the trees and the small lake nearby. People were walking their dogs, children were playing, and the smell of fresh food filled the air. Emma held a small box with a slice of pizza left inside. She had been saving it all day, but now, after a long walk and a tiring day, she finally decided to eat it. As she took a bite, she noticed a man sitting alone a few feet away on another bench. He looked tired and sad. His clothes were neat, but worn, and his eyes seemed heavy, as if he was carrying a heavy burden. His face was calm, but something about him made Emma feel curious and concerned. Without thinking much, Emma stood up and walked toward him. "Would you like some pizza?" she asked softly, holding out her last slice. The man looked at her, surprised. He hesitated for a moment, then smiled gently and nodded. Emma sat next to him and broke the slice in half, giving him one piece. He took it with his hands and looked at her again. "Thank you," he said quietly. His voice was soft, but kind. As they ate together, Emma tried to find words to start a conversation. "Are you okay?" she asked. The man looked away, staring at the lake. "I'm fine," he said after a moment. But Emma could tell something was wrong. There was a sadness in his eyes she couldn't ignore. The park around them was still busy, but it felt like they were in their own little world. Emma learned his name was Daniel. He didn't say much about himself, only that he was new to the city and still trying to find his place. Emma shared stories about her own life too. She told him about her job at the local bookstore, about her dreams, and how sometimes life felt difficult, but she always tried to stay hopeful. Daniel listened carefully. He smiled sometimes, but then the sadness returned. Emma wanted to help, but didn't know how. She felt a strange connection with him, like they understood each other without saying much. The city noise faded as they talked, and the sky grew darker. Streetlights flickered on, and the cool evening air wrapped around them. Before they parted, Daniel said, "You have a good heart, Emma. Thank you for your kindness today." Emma smiled back. "Everyone needs a little kindness now and then," she replied. They agreed to meet again, hoping their new friendship could bring some light into both their lives. As Emma walked away, she looked back at Daniel sitting alone on the bench, now eating the last bit of pizza with a small smile. She wondered about his story. Who was this lonely man? Why did he seem so sad and distant? Emma felt the first hint of a mystery, and deep inside, she hoped to uncover it. That night, Emma couldn't stop thinking about Daniel. His eyes, his quiet voice, and the way he seemed lost in his own world stayed in her mind. She didn't know what the future would bring, but something told her this meeting was just the beginning of something important. The next day, Emma returned to the park, hoping to see Daniel again. The bench where he sat was empty. She waited, watching the people pass by, wondering if he would come back. Hours passed, and still no sign of him. But Emma believed in the kindness she had shared, and in the possibility that their paths would cross once more. Days later, Emma found a small envelope near the bench where they had met. It was plain, without any name or address. Inside was a simple note. "Thank you for the pizza. You don't know how much it meant. I hope to see you again." The note made Emma smile and feel a warmth inside her heart. She kept the note safe, feeling it was a sign that Daniel was out there somewhere, thinking of her too. The mystery of the lonely stranger who had taken her last slice of pizza had only just begun, and Emma was ready to discover what secrets lay behind his sad smile. Life in the city continued around her, but Emma's world had changed. Sometimes, small acts of kindness could open the door to new stories, new friendships, and maybe even love. And for Emma, That last slice of pizza was more than just a meal. It was the start of a new chapter she never expected. Emma waited for days, hoping to see Daniel again in the park. Every afternoon she went back to the same bench, but he never showed up. She wondered why he disappeared so suddenly. Was he afraid? Or did he have somewhere important to be? Emma's curiosity grew stronger with each passing day. One afternoon, as Emma was leaving her job at the bookstore, she found a small leather wallet on the sidewalk. She picked it up and looked inside. To her surprise, the wallet belonged to Daniel. Inside, there were expensive credit cards, an ID card, and a few photographs. Emma's heart skipped a beat. This man was not just any stranger. He was someone important, someone wealthy. Emma wondered why Daniel had kept his true identity hidden. She thought about the sad look in his eyes and the loneliness she felt in his voice. What was his story? Why did he need to hide from the world? The questions filled her mind, but she had no answers. Emma decided to keep the wallet safe. She wanted to return it to Daniel, but she didn't know how to find him. She hoped that one day they would meet again and she could give it back. Until then, she kept thinking about the stranger who had taken her last slice of pizza and how his life was so different from hers. Days passed, and Emma felt a strange connection growing between her and Daniel. Even though they had only met once, she felt like she knew him better than anyone else. She wondered if Daniel was thinking about her too. The thought made her smile, but also made her worried. What if he never came back? One evening, as the sun set and the sky turned pink and purple, Emma saw a familiar figure walking toward the park. It was Daniel. He looked tired, but happy to see her. Emma's heart raced as she walked toward him. "Emma," Daniel said softly, "I didn't expect to see you here." "I've been waiting," she replied, smiling. "I found your wallet." Daniel's eyes widened in surprise. "You did? Thank you. I was so worried I had lost it." They sat together on the bench, and Daniel began to open up. He told Emma that he had been running from a difficult past, a life full of secrets and danger. He didn't want to scare her, so he kept his true identity hidden. But meeting Emma had changed him. He felt safe and hopeful for the first time in a long time. Emma listened carefully, feeling both sadness and hope. She wanted to help Daniel, but she didn't know how. She knew that their story was just beginning, and many challenges still lay ahead. As they talked, the city lights began to shine, and the night air grew cool. Emma and Daniel sat close, sharing a quiet moment. The mystery of the lonely millionaire was slowly starting to fade, replaced by something new. A chance for friendship, trust, and maybe even love. But the danger Daniel feared was still out, there, waiting in the shadows. And Emma would soon learn that their lives were about to change in ways neither of them could imagine. The story was far from over. Emma couldn't stop thinking about Daniel after that evening in the park. She felt a mix of excitement and worry. Who was this mysterious man with a hidden past? And why did he seem so afraid? Emma wanted to know more, but she also felt cautious. She didn't want to get hurt or caught up in something dangerous. A few days later, Daniel called Emma and asked if they could meet again. This time, he wanted to show her a place that was very important to him. Emma agreed, curious and hopeful. When they met, Daniel took her to a small, cozy cafe tucked away from the busy city streets. It was quiet and private, a perfect place for secrets to be shared. Over coffee, Daniel began to tell Emma more about his life. He explained that he was born into a very rich family, but had chosen to live simply, away from the public eye. He didn't trust many people because of past betrayals and disappointments. The loneliness weighed heavily on him, and that's why he kept his true identity hidden when they first met. Emma listened carefully. She admired Daniel's honesty and bravery. She understood why he was scared, but she also saw the kindness beneath his guarded exterior. Daniel's story made her feel closer to him. It was clear he wanted to trust her, but didn't know how. Suddenly, their peaceful moment was broken by a strange noise outside the cafe. Daniel's expression changed instantly. He looked tense and worried. Emma noticed the fear in his eyes and asked what was wrong. Daniel hesitated, but then whispered, "Someone is watching me. I think they've finally found out where I am." Emma's heart pounded. She realized that the danger Daniel feared was real and closer than she thought. But she also knew she couldn't turn away now. She wanted to help him, no matter what. Together they decided to be careful and keep their meetings secret. Daniel promised to explain everything when the time was right. Emma agreed to wait, even though the mystery was growing stronger every day. As they left the cafe, Emma felt a mix of hope and fear. Their story was becoming more complicated, and the risk was greater. But the connection between them was growing, and that was something neither of them could ignore. The night sky was clear, but shadows were closing in. Emma and Daniel were about to face challenges that would test their trust and courage. The lonely millionaire and the kind girl with the last slice of pizza were now tied together by fate, and nothing would be the same again. Daniel and Emma's secret meetings continued, but the danger lurking around them grew stronger. Daniel became more careful, always looking over his shoulder. Emma noticed the change in him, the worry in his eyes, and the quick glances toward every stranger they passed. She wanted to help, but Daniel kept his distance when it came to the details of his past. One rainy afternoon, Daniel invited Emma to his small apartment. It was simple but warm, filled with books and pictures of places he had visited. As the rain tapped on the window, Daniel finally opened up about why he was hiding. He told Emma about enemies from his past who wanted to take everything away from him, including his freedom. That's why he lived quietly and avoided the rich life he was born into. Emma listened carefully, feeling both fear and sympathy. She realized Daniel's life was more dangerous than she ever imagined. But she also saw his hope, the hope that, maybe with her by his side, he could find peace. Just as they were talking, there was a sudden knock at the door. Both froze. Daniel's face went pale. "Don't open it," he whispered urgently. Emma's heart raced. Who could it be? Were the people hunting Daniel so close already? They decided to stay quiet and wait, hoping whoever was outside would leave. Minutes felt like hours. Finally, the knocking stopped, and the silence returned. Emma knew this was only the beginning. The danger was real, and it was coming for them both. But she also knew she couldn't walk away now. Daniel needed her, and she was ready to face whatever came next. As the storm outside calmed, inside the small apartment, two people prepared to fight for their future, tied together by trust, fear, and something deeper than either expected. Days passed, but the threat outside didn't fade. Daniel and Emma knew they couldn't keep hiding forever. One evening, Daniel took Emma to a quiet park far from the city. He wanted to show her a secret place where he felt safe, a small, hidden garden surrounded by tall trees. As they walked through the garden, Daniel spoke softly. He told Emma about his dreams of a normal life, one without fear or secrets. He wanted to protect her and hoped she could help him find peace. Emma felt her heart swell with hope and sadness. She wanted to believe in a future with Daniel, but the danger still loomed. Suddenly, Daniel's phone rang. He glanced at the screen and his face turned serious. "They're coming closer," he said. Emma's heart pounded. She knew their time was running out. Without warning, footsteps approached through the garden's trees. Daniel grabbed Emma's hand and pulled her behind a thick bush. They held their breath as two strangers walked past, talking quietly but looking around carefully. When the danger passed, Daniel knew they had to act fast. He promised Emma that soon he would explain everything and they would be safe. But for now, they had to be careful and stay one step ahead. Emma nodded, feeling both fear and determination. Their love was growing stronger, but so was the danger. Together, they were ready to face whatever the future held, even if it meant risking everything for a chance at happiness. The days that followed were tense and uncertain. Daniel and Emma stayed hidden, meeting only in secret places where no one could find them. Daniel worked quietly to protect Emma from the danger that followed him. He contacted old friends and trusted people who could help keep them safe. Despite the fear and risks, their bond grew stronger with every moment they shared. One evening, Daniel finally sat Emma down and told her the full truth. He revealed his real identity as a wealthy heir to a powerful family. The enemies chasing him wanted to control his fortune and ruin his life. But Daniel had no interest in the wealth. He only wanted freedom and a simple life, with Emma by his side. Emma listened, her heart full of love and worry. She understood why Daniel had hidden the truth from her, but she was glad he trusted her now. Together, they made a plan to face the danger head-on. With the help of Daniel's allies, they arranged to expose the enemies and take back control of his life. The final night arrived. Daniel and Emma, side by side, faced the people who tried to destroy their future. The confrontation was tense, but with courage and trust, they overcame the threats. When it was over, the danger was gone, and a new chapter began for both of them. Daniel and Emma walked into the sunrise, knowing their love had survived the hardest test. From that day forward, they looked ahead with hope and strength, ready to build the life they dreamed of, together.